Welcome to Alimentary, the podcast series where you will learn about your amazing body, how it works, and of course why food is so important, and also pick up some simple recipe and lifestyle tips and tweaks to help you to influence your health in a positive way. In this short episode of Alimentary, I will explain two really important promoters of our gut health, and they are prebiotics and probiotics. We'll explore what they are individually, why they're crucial for our digestive system, and how they can benefit everything from our immune system to our mental health. Now, whether you're starting on your gut health journey or are looking to optimize your well-being, I hope that this episode will help to reinforce your motivation to be mindful about what you eat and also provide actionable tips for incorporating prebiotics and probiotics into your daily routine. So I'm just going to start off talking a little bit about the gut environment. And a balanced gut is foundational for not only our digestion, but also our immune function, our mental health, and even weight management. So you'll hear the terms the microbiome and the microbiota. The microbiome refers to the environment in which all the microorganisms like fungi, bacteria, and viruses live. And in our case, the environment is the human body. Now, the microbiota, on the other hand, usually refers to the microorganisms found in a specific area of the body. So we have microbiota in several areas, like our gut, but also in our mouth, in our lungs, in our skin, urinary tract, vagina, so basically all over our body, these microorganisms live. So we're just going to focus on the gut microbiota today because it is considered to be the most significant one when it comes to maintaining our health. Our gut bacteria carry out several jobs, including the fermentation of food, so that's the breaking down of the food, protecting against pathogens, which are the harmful bacteria, stimulating our immune responses, and they're also involved in some vitamin production as well. Now, the good bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids as byproducts of breaking down our food as well. And short-chain fatty acids have many health benefits. So they're anti-inflammatory, immunoregulatory, so they help to modulate and regulate our immune response. Anti-obesity, they're anti-diabetes, anti-cancer, they've cardiovascular protective properties. So that's heart health, liver protective, and brain protective activities as well. So the two major players in this balancing act in our gut are prebiotics and probiotics. So they really influence what's going on in that environment. Now they sound similar, but they do have distinct roles, but they're complementary to each other. So if we start off with probiotics, so what are they? So probiotics are live microorganisms, and we usually hear them referred to as good or beneficial bacteria. And these good bacteria contribute to the balance of our gut microbiota, or the microorganisms like the bacteria, fungi, and viruses which live in our digestive tract. Now, the human gut is home to trillions of bacteria. And while some of these can cause illness, our probiotics are there to help maintain a healthy balance and basically keep the harmful bacteria in check, So, you might have had or have heard of someone who had at one stage a candida overgrowth, which can cause all sorts of symptoms and, feeling unwell. And that's basically an overgrowth of bad gut bacteria because there wasn't enough good gut bacteria in there to keep a check on them. So what kills our good gut bacteria? Well, not eating a diverse range of foods, so not eating like a whole food varied diet, because from the different foods feed different strains of our good bacteria. A lack of the prebiotics in our diet, which we'll talk about in a minute. Too much alcohol. Antibiotic use, which obviously kills all of our bacteria, the good and the bad, so we always need to replenish our good bacteria after we've been on antibiotics. Lack of regular physical activity can be harmful. Cigarette smoking, not getting enough sleep because when we don't get enough sleep, our lymphatic system, our all the mechanisms that detoxify our body at night don't get a chance to do that work really well. So having a toxic gut means that it's just not working as well as it should. Too much stress has a big impact on our gut microbiota as well. So just to break down the benefits of eating probiotic foods, our digestion's improved. So the probiotics help to break down our food and absorb the nutrients more efficiently. And so in that way, they can reduce the symptoms of digestive issues like irritable bowel syndrome, bloating, or constipation. They boost our immunity because the healthy gut microbiome can help to boost our immune system to ward off infections. The mental health benefits are because the gut-brain connection is really strong. And I have a previous episode about that, so I'll put a link in the show notes. And studies have shown that a balanced gut may help to reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and stress as part of your, overall protocol for improving mood and mental health. They can help, eating probiotic food can help with weight management as well, because certain strains are linked to weight regulation because they influence our appetite and, how we store fat, and our metabolism, which is how we convert food into energy. So what food can we eat, to consume probiotics? And they're really found in fermented foods. So that includes yogurt. Now, of course, not all yogurt is equal, so you're looking for yogurt with live and active cultures. Generally, that's going to be pretty like natural yogurts. There might be some sort of more gimmicky yogurts out there that would have a lot of flavors and that. So you want to look for your live yogurts, natural yogurts, and you can always blend up some fruit to mix through it. If you're not mad about the taste of it, or add it to smoothies, that kind of thing. Kefir and kombucha are both drinks. So kefir is mostly a fermented dairy product, although you can get non-dairy versions of kefir as well. And kombucha is a fermented tea. There are, certainly a growing number of Irish companies actually producing these drinks as well. So you will see them on your supermarket shelf. And there's some fabulous smaller producers of amazing fermented drinks and fermented vegetables. So I'll put a link to some websites as well down in the show notes. Sauerkraut and kimchi, again, they're probably, I think we're a lot more aware of these foods now in Ireland. Basically, sauerkraut is like a fermented cabbage, but you're getting, again, a lot of these smaller producers are actually fermenting lots of other types of vegetables as well. So there's lots of different flavors. Red cabbage is one of my favorite. And kimchi would be a bit spicier. So they sort of just come from different parts of the world, but they're both fermented vegetables, and they taste amazing. And you actually only need like about a forkful or two a day to really benefit. So there's lots of different ways that you can take them. Like I might eat it standing at the fridge with a fork out of the jar, but you can add it into your sandwich, you can add it into your salad, you can add it into your main meal, to even, a hot meal, have a little side of sauerkraut or kimchi. It's just really delicious. Tempeh, which is a fermented soy product. A lot of vegans would probably use tempeh in their diet, and again, you can marinate it. It doesn't really taste very strong, so they tend to any recipes you see for using tempeh, they usually try and marinate it in something to give it a bit more flavor. And miso, so you might see miso tea or miso soup. Again, another great fermented product. Pickles. So I've been asked about pickles in the past. So you can get fermented pickles. Some of the ones that you might see more commonly on the supermarket shelf might be pickled in vinegar. So there won't be, generally speaking, they wouldn't have too high a content of probiotics in those. But if you see fermented pickles, then definitely. Now, of course, we can get supplements as well. Just if you're going to buy supplements, I would definitely get some advice, because depending on what your gut issues are. Now, if you have a healthy gut and you just want to boost it, there's some very good everyday probiotics like Biokult and Optibac do sort of general strains. And especially for the gut, you're talking about lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. So there's some great ones. But if you have any gut issues, definitely get advice on which probiotic to take, because depending on what the issue is, it might actually make your symptoms a little worse, So we'll move on to prebiotics, and prebiotics are non-digestible fibers which feed the good bacteria in our gut. So think of them like nutrients or fertilizer that you might put on your garden to help it to grow. So prebiotics help our probiotics to thrive. So because they promote the good bacteria, prebiotics play their part in maintaining a healthy gut environment. Unlike probiotics, prebiotics are not living organisms, but they're compounds which we can find naturally in various types of whole foods. So just to go over the benefits of them, by feeding the good gut bacteria, prebiotics help to improve our digestion and promote the absorption of essential vitamins and minerals like calcium and magnesium. They enhance our metabolism. So prebiotics as a type of fiber can help to regulate our blood sugar levels, and that can make them beneficial for people managing conditions like type 2 diabetes, or for all of us, who are trying to keep our blood sugars balanced and avoid spikes where we might give in to cravings and eating something that we shouldn't. They help to improve our immune function. So again, because they encourage the growth of the beneficial bacteria, this can help to regulate our immune responses. They also help to increase satiety, which is, that feeling of being full. So they aid in appetite control by promoting the release of hormones which signal fullness. So we have the hormone ghrelin tells us when we're hungry, and leptin tells us when we're full. So we know that prebiotic foods feed the good bacteria in our gut, but some people might say, well, does that mean that they also feed the harmful bacteria? But in order for the bacteria to break down a prebiotic and use it as food, they have to contain certain enzymes. So most harmful microbes don't have these enzymes, but the beneficial ones do. So they're feeding our good gut bacteria. So where can we find them? Well, prebiotics are very easy to incorporate into our diet. They're found in plant-based foods, and especially those that are high in fiber. So some excellent sources includes, this is just a list of ones that are, fairly common. So bananas, especially unripe. So if they're a little bit green, they have even more prebiotics in them. Onions, garlic, and leeks. And onions and garlic, are so handy to have as a base to all your soups and your casseroles and curries and everything, so we can definitely incorporate them, a lot through the week. Asparagus and artichokes are excellent prebiotics. Asparagus, again, so fast and easy to cook. You can have them with breakfast with your eggs, or obviously with, steamed with your dinner. Artichokes you can get, I tend to get them pickled in a jar, and you can just, take out a couple and add them into your salad. They're really nice. Whole grains like oats and barley. So again, your oats are a fantastic prebiotic and so easy. So there's so many things that you can do with oats. Beans, lentils, and chickpeas. So your legumes are amazing prebiotics. Apples, especially the skin. Just to say again, if you are eating apples that are not organic, you want to make sure you wash the skin really well. There's also pectin just under the skin, which is really helpful for pectin is really good for helping to repair our gut lining. Cacao. So that's good news for me. I love my chocolatey flavour, so I love my cacao. It has lots of other antioxidants and magnesium and everything as well, but it's good news that it's a prebiotic too. Also flax seeds, seaweed, and avocado, so they're among sort of some of the most popular and easy sources to include in your diet. So as you can see, there's a real synergy between prebiotics and probiotics, and they have individual benefits, but they work best in tandem. The prebiotics nourish the probiotics, helping them to survive and thrive, and that ensures our healthy balance in our gut. So which again, I'm repeating myself, I know, but that means that we have optimal digestion, so we can actually absorb the nutrients in the good food that we're eating. It really boosts our immune system and just helps us to feel well overall. So it's a good idea to maybe start thinking about pairing a prebiotic and a probiotic, in your meals. So, for example, if you're having a breakfast, you might have like oats and yogurt with bananas, and some nuts and seeds or whatever else you put on your oats. If you're having a salad, you might make sure that you have some sauerkraut or kimchi with it, and add in some artichokes or some asparagus. Or avocado. It is important though to remember to try and vary your diet, and that way you're getting a broad range of vitamins and minerals and a broad range of beneficial bacteria and the prebiotic fibers, because those prebiotic fibers feed different strains of your bacteria. So obviously we sometimes will take probiotics as supplements as well, and especially after antibiotics, or if we have any gut issues. It is a really good idea, regardless of whether you think you need a supplement, to be taking it in your food as well, because you're getting the benefit of all of the vitamins and minerals that are in the food, in addition to the prebiotic and probiotic qualities, Plus that means that you are not eating so much of the kind of the food that isn't helping your gut. So the probiotics can actually work even better because they're not fighting, a poor diet. The supplements come in, capsules or powders, and they all contain different strains. So I mentioned lactobacillus and bifidobacterium earlier, but there's like S. boulardii. There's lots of different strains of bacteria. So it is worth getting some advice so that you can make sure that you're taking the right one for whatever your issue is. Also, if you're immunocompromised or if you have any serious health issues, it's always good to check with your GP or consultant before taking supplements. So I wanted to make this episode about prebiotics and probiotics in advance of my next interview, which is with Rose Green from Four Hands Studio. Now, Rose and her partner Margot are producers of naturally fermented foods and drinks, and they really use the best produce to make the highest quality product. And I can vouch for it because I got my first box of sauerkraut, and I got some kombucha and a fermented carrot drink as well, and they're absolutely amazing. So I'm really looking forward to hearing my chat with Rose. She's so passionate about what she does. She's a chef as well, that she is definitely going to persuade you, to try some more fermented foods and add them into your diet. So in the meantime, you might, when you're preparing your meals, you might consider, well, do I have a prebiotic food in it? And can I add some sort of probiotic as well into some of your meals during the week? So the store cupboard staple for this episode is the good old onion, which is possibly a staple of your kitchen anyway. But when you hear how beneficial it is for your health, you might look at it with fresh eyes. It's also a prebiotic food. So the onion and actually garlic as well, they're members of the lily family, and there are lots of different varieties grown all over the world. We're probably most familiar with like the white onion, the red onion, spring onions, chives and shallots in this part, and leeks as well actually in this part of the world. So they originate from Central Asia, from Iran and Pakistan, and into the southern part of Russia as well. They've been regarded like through hundreds of years, that as therapeutic. And as early as the 6th century BCE, onions were used as a medicine in India. Now, their pungency, I suppose, makes them popular, because they can really sort of add a little bit of flavour to your meal. Early explorers to North America, like Christopher Columbus, they brought onions into the Western Hemisphere. So onions are a good source of vitamin C, and they also contain B vitamins, vitamin B6 and B9, which is our folic acid, vitamin B1, biotin, and also chromium, vitamin K, and dietary fibre. They contain organic sulfur compounds, which provide health benefits as well. And It's the enzyme allanase in onions that can make us, cry, when we're cutting them and preparing them. They can contain other antioxidants and flavonoids, primarily quercetin, phenolic acids, sterols, plant sterols, saponins, pectin, volatile oils, all of these amazing compounds which are really beneficial for our health. They have been shown to decrease blood lipid levels. That's the fat that's flowing around in your blood. They have also been shown to prevent clot formation and lower blood pressure. Obviously, all of this is as part of an overall healthy diet. They have been shown to have significant blood sugar lowering actions. So can really help, when we're managing our blood sugar levels. Historically, they were used to treat asthma. So the way that they worked when it came to treating asthma was that they inhibit the production of compounds which cause the bronchial muscle to spasm. And so, of course, if you have asthma, you need to work with your doctor and GP, but it's absolutely no harm to include onions in your diet as well. So I mentioned earlier that sometimes when we're preparing an onion, it might make us cry. So just a little tip around that is that sometimes putting the onion into the fridge for a while before you actually cut it, that can reduce the activity of the enzyme that produces the allyl sulfate, So always try and use a very sharp knife as well, and cut the onions while you're standing so that your eyes are kind of further away from it too. Hopefully that might help. They do contain a small amount of oxalate, so if you have a history of any issues with oxalate containing kidney stones, then avoid over consuming them for sure. In terms of how we use onions, well, oh my gosh, they can be used in so many dishes. Sauteed, as a base for casseroles and soups. They can be used, particularly red onions, in salads or spring onions. Leeks are amazing. The leek soup is just absolutely delicious, and obviously can be used in your stir fries as well. So many ways to use onions. When it comes to storing your onions, say your white or yellow or red onions should be stored at room temperature, in a dark area and well ventilated, and away from your potatoes. Now, I've done that in the past where I've stored onions and potatoes together, but the onions will absorb some of the moisture from the potatoes, so they'll spoil faster. So keep your onions and your potatoes separate. So with your green and your spring onions, they should be stored in the fridge in a perforated container, and they should keep for about a week. So hopefully there's enough information there to persuade you to add some onions to your shopping trolley this week. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I just wanted to clarify that the podcast is for informational purposes only and does not substitute professional care from a doctor or trained health professional, nor constitute medical advice or services if you're in a position to need either. However, if you found it interesting, you can subscribe to make sure you don't miss future episodes, or sign up for my newsletter on lynsharkeynutrition.ie.